Address some issues not of the library, but in a broader spectrum of the 501c3s that serve our community, and give you some then background in reference to the role that Carefree played in the past of contributions to these 501c3s. The mayor, a number of years ago, appointed, I happen to be the individual on the council, was appointed to get the committee together, or group together, and we spent a certain amount of our budget, approximately, was it 1% or something of that, our revenue? 3% for sales tax. And that amounted to close to $100,000. And we asked all the 501c3s to give us financial statements, to give us copies of their tax return, and 2 individuals in here served on that. Lynn over here, fifth back here. And we then, in turn, reported to the council our recommendations, and the council, I can't think they ever changed anything, but they did accept the recommendation and make contributions to 501c3s. Both Carefree and Cave Creek have elected to outsource most of the social in some of these areas, and I agree with that. I'm not in disagreement with that. And so we have these 501c3s picking up part of the load that would be served by, in Scottsdale you have money going to the arts, and you have it going to the museum, etc. You have it going to the library. It doesn't happen up here. They're the glue that holds our community together. They raise property values. We come here and we participate with them and so forth. I recognize that all communities have capital projects. We're completing one and we're going into one next year. But think about making contributions towards human capital. Human capital is just as important as the physical capital that gets contributed. I'm asking you to consider human capital expenditures in your budgeting process. Now, the question you're asking, how are we going to afford it after the Bloom report that our mayor gave us? Well, I know sometimes sales tax goes like this. It's not a straight line. And hopefully in the months going, you'll catch up with where you projected the revenue would be. What I'm asking you to do, you have a component that's fixed in your budget and you have a component that's variable. The fixed is normally what you're going to expend that year, being your, besides your capital expenditures, the normal operating budget that you have. You have the variable portion, the big portion of that is sales tax. You budget for one thing and undoubtedly you end up with another figure. So I'm asking you to take your sales tax, if it exceeds your budget, or if you look at your contingency, if you don't spend all your contingency, then use a process of taking a percentage of that excess, if there's any excess, and consider donating it to the 501c3s. Now that could be a fixed amount, or it could be 8%. For instance, if your sales tax is $200,000, you may decide, well, $50,000 we'll give the 501c3. That's a maximum, and if the percentage is greater than X, we're still capping at $50,000. So that's just something to consider as you go through the budgeting process down the road.